Myoho Renge Kyo. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. All right. Before I get started on Nagarjuna, quick reminder. I hope you're in good health and secure. If you're having any struggles, because I get emails all the time from people asking, when I go to my Butsudan, when I sit in front of my altar, what should I be thinking when I start chanting my Shodai, my Daimoku? What should I be thinking when I'm doing Gangyo? What should be going through my head? Oh, I know, I should stop my head from, my brain. You can't stop your brain. You can't stop your mind from thinking. That's samsara. And if it weren't for samsara, we wouldn't even know we're here, right? This is not only the human condition, but you have to understand that's the condition of the cosmos. It never stops, ever. So that whole thing about ending or stopping thought or stopping thinking or stopping blah, 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 that's just such hocus pocus. What's important is how to redirect your mind. Your mind is always active. Even when you think it isn't. Just think about that. You're thinking about it not being active, then, or you're thinking. It's such a ruse. All right. I have a video on this channel called Presence at the Butsudan. I have a lot of videos on it, thousands, right? And many address this topic, but Presence at the Butsudan is the simplest, shortest video I've put together to help you think about, consider how to prepare yourself for invoking your Buddhahood. Because that's what we're doing. When we chant Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, we are invoking our mind's natural, already extant Buddha-ness, our experience of the universe and all phenomena as they truly exist. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. By doing this, we eschew, great word, craving and clinging. That sounds simple. It gets more and more complex as you read and you try to figure it out with your samsaric mind. So stop. Go watch Presence at the Butsudan. Understand the little setup to prepare your mind to suddenly open and awaken Buddhahood, while at the same time it'll just happen. As your Buddhahood opens, all the samsaric side just has no reason to be. So the key is open Buddhahood, yes? Anyway, just a reminder, that's there. Unless YouTube somehow loses it. They've been losing some of my videos, I've noticed lately. It's frustrating, but it's impossible to keep up with, so I apologize for that. By the way, I've demonetized all these videos that I can, and I probably have more, some of the older stuff that I need to go demonetize, but yeah, I just got sick. YouTube has been on the rampage, upping their commercials everywhere all the time, and it's too distracting. You can't do it. So I'm relying on you guys and your support, yes? Patrons, thank you so much. Without you, I couldn't do this. Either on Patreon or through PayPal. Those of you who are purchasing ebooks, print books, mandalas, thank you so much. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. And if for whatever reason you can't do $1 a month or anything like that right now, we all appreciate liking and subscribing, because that also is a bodhisattva act. Helps support this channel and grow the Sangha. So thank you. All right. Nagarjuna, big topic. Here's one of the books you can get, right? Buddhism reference. Nagarjuna, circa 150 to 250 CE, and it's disputed, but about 100 or 200, the second century after the Christian calendar, they won that one, was an Indian Mahayana Buddhist philosopher monk of the Madhyamaka centrism or middle way, we already talked about that, school. He is widely considered one of the most important Buddhist philosophers. Jan Westerhoff considers him to be, quote, one of the greatest thinkers in the history of Asian philosophy, end quote. Now, one of the reasons academics appreciate Nagarjuna is because of how he would dig into the minutia of every argument, almost to the point of ridiculousness, yeah? To make certain that the precise idea, the precise meaning of terms, concepts, Buddhist teachings were clearly understood, leaving no room for fanciful embellishments. That didn't stop it from happening, but at least with Nagarjuna, we can see very clearly, right, the dedication to meaning of Shakyamuni's teaching. Nagarjuna is widely considered to be the founder of the Madhyamaka School of Buddhist philosophy and a defender of the Mahayana movement. His Mula Madhyamaka Karika, root verses on Madhyamaka, is the most important text on the Madhyamaka philosophy of emptiness. And we've discussed, there's a whole playlist for Nagarjuna you can find on this channel, and go watch as many of those videos as you like. The Mula Madhyamaka Karika inspired a large number of commentaries in Sanskrit, Chinese, Tibetan, Korean, and Japanese, and continues to be studied today. The main article, Mula Madhyamaka Karika, is Nagarjuna's best-known work. It is not only a grand commentary on the Buddha's discourse to Kaccayana, the only discourse cited by name, but also a detailed and careful analysis of most of the important discourses included in the Nikayas and the Agamas, especially those of the Atthakavagga of the Sutra Nipata. That is to say, Nagarjuna, for me, and I think what is being explored here is that, as I've said many times, the early teachings of Shakyamuni are not different teachings from the latter teachings, the Mahayana, this Lotus Sutra. Nichiren points that out often. What is different is the understanding of those teachings and the method, the devices of teaching to reach those earlier people, to elevate their capacity, their ability to understand the profundity of the teachings. So the audience changed over time, but the teaching, the point of, the meaning of the teachings, always there. And Nagarjuna bridges that historical fact through his analysis. He shows that in these early teachings, that is not a stopping point, that those were all preparatory, and that ultimately, and this is how he becomes a defender of the Mahayana, demonstrates what is to be learned via the successive teachings beyond the rudimentary understanding, not the teachings, the understanding of the earlier propositions, teachings. Utilizing the Buddhist theory of dependent arising, right, the nidana, Nagarjuna demonstrated the futility of metaphysical speculations, not magic, not mystical, You're chewing into your own stupid traditions and foolishness. Understand what he means is what he means. It's not magical, it's real. It's observational. It's experienced. His method of dealing with such metaphysics is referred to as the middle way. The Madhyamaka School. It is the middle way that avoided the extremes, right? What's it? What it says? Oops. The substantialism of the Sravastivadins, as well as the nominalism of the Sautrastikas, these different Hinayana schools interpreting the teachings incorrectly. In the Mula Madhyamaka Karika, quote, all experienced phenomena are empty, sunya. This did not mean that they are not experienced and therefore non-existent, only that they are devoid of a permanent and eternal substance, svabhava, because, like a dream, they are mere projections of human consciousness. Since these imaginary fictions are experienced, they are not mere names. So the world of name and form, again, is where cravings and clinging come from, right? As I've said many times, it's not about the thing, it's about thinking about the thing. Because thinking about the thing is what makes the thing the thing. Think about time. Think about moment to moment to moment. Think about birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Think about the constant momentum of all phenomena. Instantiations from potential. Everything is an expression, non-static. Think about that. I'm sitting on the expression of a stool, on the expression of my butt, which is an expression of karmic momentum, of which I am a myriad instantiations, all for the purpose of having this ninth consciousness, the eighth consciousness, the experience of this momentum, the cosmos. What a glorious opportunity to see life happening, because life is never static. And everything from my itchy nose to this computer is a verb. It's happening. It's a constant reinstantiation of potential. Major attributed works. According to David Seafort Ruig, the Madhyamaka Strastuti, attributed to Kandrakirti, 600 to 650, Common Era, refers to 8 texts by Nagarjuna. The Madhyamaka Karikas, the Yuktisatikas, the Sunyatasapti, the Vigrahaya Vartani, the Vidala, i.e. the Vidalya Sutra, the Vidalya Prakakrana, also the Ratnavali, the Sutra Samukaya or Chaya, and Samstutis, the hymns. This list covers not only much less than the grand total of works ascribed to Nagarjuna in the Chinese and Tibetan collections, but it also does not even include all such works as the Kandrakirti has himself cited in his writings. So, if you want a little exercise in trying to pronounce Prakrit, Sanskrit, or Pali words, whew. According to one view, that of Christian Lindner, the works definitely written by Nagarjuna are the Mula Madhyamaka Karika, the fundamental verses of the Middle Way, available in 3 Sanskrit manuscripts and numerous translations. I use the Kanzi, the last name of the author, Kanzi, I forget his first name, translations of the major and the lesser works, translations. He's recognized as the foremost authority on the Mula Madhyamaka, Karika, and Nagarjuna. The Sunyata Saptati, 70 verses on emptiness, I've also talked about that on this channel, accompanied by a prose commentary ascribed to Nagarjuna himself. The Vrigrahavyavartani, the end of disputes. The Vaidya Yarakarana, the pulverizing the categories, a prose work critiquing the categories used by Indian Nyaya philosophy. The proof of convention, the 60 verses on reasoning, the 4 hymns, the Lokatita Stava, hymn to transcendence, the hymn to peerless, to inconceivable, and the to ultimate truth, the Ratnavali, precious garland. Oh, there's a long one. Verses on the heart of the dependent arising. That one, I should probably do some videos on that one alone, along with a short commentary. The Sutra excuse me, an anthology of various sutra passages, the exposition of the awakening mind. The perfection of wisdom is attributed to, although it predates Nagarjuna, his discourses on the perfection of wisdom are quite recognized in the Buddhist scholarship world, right? Letter to a Good Friend, and the requisites of awakening, a work, the path of the Bodhisattva and Paramitas. It is quoted by Candrakirti in his commentary on Aryadeva's 400. Now only extant in Chinese translation, Taisho 1660. So it'll be hard for me to grasp that one or get a hold of that one. Other scholars have challenged and argued against some of the above works being Nagarjuna's. David F. Burton notes that Christian Lindner is rather liberal with his list of works, and that other scholars have called some of these into question. He notes how Paul Williams argued convincingly that the Bodhisattva Sita Viharana must be a later text. In his study, Burton relies on the text he considers least controversial, the Mula Madhyamaka Karika, the Vigra Mahavartani, the Sunyata Saptati, the Yuktisika, the Katusattva, the Vaidla Yaprapkarana, and the Ratnavali. So, we'll let the scholars argue that. Similarly, John Westerhoff notes that there is uncertainty about the attribution of Nagarjuna's work and about his life in general. He relies on 6 works. Again, the Mula Madhyamaka Karika always figures into the scholarship, as well as several others, all of which expound a single coherent philosophical system and are attributed to Nagarjuna by a variety of Indian and Tibetan sources. I have a note here in italics. The Tibetan history, Buston considers the first 6 to be the main treatises of Nagarjuna. This is called the Yukti Corpus, Rigs Chogs in Tibetan, while according to Taranatha, only the first 5 are the works of Nagarjuna. TRV Murti considers Ratnavali and the long one here, and another, the Mukyaya, to be works of Nagarjuna, as the first 2 are quoted profusely by Chandrakirti and the third by Shantideva. Anyway, that's the entry in the book. That'll get you started. If it doesn't end your confusion about who Nagarjuna is, and you want to research that further, you have a lot of information in that definition to pursue the rabbit hole. Don't let it take you away from your practice, though. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, that is the core of your practice. That is the practice for this age. It includes within it all of the scholarship of Nagarjuna, no less Chindai and Zharan or Miao, right? Saicho, Dengyo, and of course, our modern age Bodhisattva teacher and mentor, Nichiren. Savor your practice. Stay healthy. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.